Hello guys and welcome to your 17th Java tutorial in which we are going to be going over multi-dimensional arrays. Now, as you recall from the last tutorial, what arrays are pretty much just groups of variables or certain objects. Well, what multi-dimensional arrays are, they're groups of arrays. Now, before we actually going even further into that topic, let's actually just get to the code part first and just create a multi-dimensional array. So as you can imagine, the format for a multi-dimensional array is pretty much the same as it is for a regular array. So first we put the data type we want our array to be in. In this case I want it to be in string. Then we put the name of our multi-dimensional array, organisms. Uh, that's pretty much topic I thought of. Anyways, after this, instead of just putting single brackets and then an equal sign, which pretty much means it's an array, we are going to put double brackets. Bam! That's the twist right there. And then an equal sign, and we are going to set it into not only one set of curly braces, not only one, but there's actually sets of curly braces inside this already and inside this larger encompassing set of curly braces. So what the heck is going on here? I find it easier to think if each of these two curly braces right now is an array. These curly braces represent arrays, okay? Uh, then these curly braces represent also they also represent arrays inside this larger encompassing array. And as you can imagine, inside these curly braces, we can put pretty much um, any regular strings. So uh, I've already made three sets of arrays inside this larger array. I'm thinking one is going to be animals, the other one's going to be plants, and the other one's going to be bacteria because the title of our array is, after all, organisms. So anyways, let's just put in a few elements into each. I don't know, humans, um, dogs, platypi. I'm not sure how that's spelled. I think that's right though. In our plants array, let's just put in some random stuff too. Some flowers. I don't know what else. Some grass. Some trees. Gotta have those. There we go. And for bacteria, let's put some euglena in there. Let's throw some paramecium in there. And let's throw on some E. coli. Thinking hard, thinking back hard to life sciences there. So anyways, there we go. We've gotten a nice little review on life sciences, and we've also gotten uh, kind of our multi-dimensional array filled out right now. So what this pretty much means, these two, what's the significance of these two brackets? This two pairs of brackets right here. Well, this first pair of brackets pretty much represents the number that you put in this one represents the array that you're accessing. So if, say, we put a number 0 here, it's going to look at all the different arrays in our uh, larger encompassing array. That's one array, there's two, there's three. So if we put a 0 in here, it's going to go and it's going to look at the very first array. This very first array, it's going to highlight that. If we put a 0 in here, and the second one, we specify our specific element. So it can be either humans, dogs, or platypi. So if we put in another 0 in here, it's going to go to the very first element of the very first array, which is humans. However, if we put, say, a 2 in here, it's going to go to the third element, third array, and our larger encompassing is gray. It's going to go 0, it's going to go 1, 1, oh gosh, my gosh. Alright, there we go. It's going to go 1, and then it's going to move on to 2, or our last array. And then the next number that we put in here, say if it's, for example, another 2, it's going to go in this specific array. Alright, there we go. In this specific array, it's going to go 0, 1, 2. It's going to navigate to the second or third, technically our third element in this smaller array. And it's going to print out E. coli. That's kind of like basic navigation, guys, in our arrays. And just in our multi-dimensional arrays, excuse that thought. And I'm just going to demonstrate a few things by printing out our different types of organisms. There we go. So once again, we can pretty much just demonstrate and code what I just said by, say, putting in organisms. Let's put a 1 to access the second array, 0, 1, of our larger encompassing array, organisms. And then after that, let's just put another square brackets, and let's put another 1. No, actually a 0. Some purty flowers. Yeah, alright, some flowers to actually access the first element of that array. So if we run this, it should say flowers, and bam, flowers. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Alright, this will work with anything else. We can access our animals array. We can print some platypi. How you like them apples? Let's print some platypi out on the screen. Bam, platypi out on the screen. That's great. So it's more or less kind of a simple concept once you get used to it, of these multi-dimensional arrays. It might seem slightly confusing at first. It's just kind of mandatory to know what they are and to know how to actually use them in programming, guys. Let me see how much time I have left, if I have time to fit something extra into this tutorial. Yeah, guys, we have a decent amount of time left. I just wanted to tell you that instead of actually creating just two-dimensional arrays, this is what they're called in this case because there's 2 dimensions here, we can actually create any number of dimensions in our array. It legitimately doesn't matter. But usually more than 3 is very awkward and tedious to use. So in your programming experience, I wouldn't say that you guys would have to meet with more than 3 of these. And what these 3 things mean, this 3-dimensional array technically, this practically means that this entire thing right here, this entire array has to be put into, I'm sorry, this entire array, there we go. The entire thing has to be put into curly braces. The entire thing, sorry. The entire thing, and practically what this means is it means that this entire thing is an element in a vast, huge 3-dimensional array. So after this, we can put another comma, for example, and we can start another array, which has 3 more arrays inside it, which is kind of crazy. And it becomes very hard to organize and actually, I don't know, actually program in such a just large amount of data kept in one array. So once again, you see we can create this other array that has 3 more arrays inside of it. And if we access it, we can just access it by putting currently, instead of putting a 0, we can put a 1 to access the second element of our huge organisms array, which pretty much this entire thing is just some organisms in this another array of just pretty much just random stuff. And we're accessing that right now. And we access the first element in that array to get access to these elements instead of these ones. So in the second square brackets, we can put 0, access the first array, and say another 1 to access the second element of that array. So we're going out of our huge, massive arrays, we're going to 0, 1, 1, the first one. And in this encompassing array, we, out of these 3 arrays, there's 1, there's 2, here's 3, we want to take the first one, which is 0. So simply grab that first one. Sorry, there we go, grab that first one. And out of this array, we want to pick out the 1th or the second element, which is def There we go. So that should print out if we run this program now, and shabam, it printed out well on the screen. Yeah, no, 3-dimensional arrays can get very confusing. 4-dimensional, I've never seen 4-dimensional arrays used ever. I think that's as much as we need to cover for multi-dimensional arrays. We'll be going over some interesting stuff with arrays in the next tutorial, but I'm pretty sure next tutorial will be the conclusion of this mini array series. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you found this stuff useful, and I will see you next time. Peace.